Morning. Just wait for some of you to come on. And make sure you say hello when you come on so I know who I've got. Just going to go on my page. Alrighty. Okay, so what I want to talk to you about today is a rule that we always forget, and when I talk to you about it, you're going to do the face palm and think, oh my God, I always forget that. And it's true, you know, I speak with clients every day. I'm always in touch with female entrepreneurs, you know, day in, day out through my community. And the one thing that they forget all of the time, hi Francine, is that they get to make the rules. Every single rule in your business you get to make. Unless you're employed by somebody else, at the end of the day, every decision you make, every product you release, the way you market yourself, whether you do Facebook Lives or whether you don't do Facebook Lives, whether you email your list once a month or once a day, all of that stuff comes down to you. You get to make the rules. So if you find yourself in your business doing things that you don't necessarily enjoy, or you feel like you should be doing them because everybody else is doing them, then it's time to really ask yourself, you know, that one burning question, which is, do I really want to do this? And is it really necessary? And if I were doing it my way, what would that look like? Too often we get caught up in doing things that we think we're supposed to do, or we see somebody else doing something and we think, oh, I better do that as well because it looks to be the way that things are going now, so I need to jump on that. And at the end of the day, if it doesn't work for you, it doesn't work for you. I have a friend and she was doing Facebook Lives every day, and a little while ago we had a conversation and she said, I just don't really feel called to do them. I really just feel like I want to write more. And I'm like, well, do that. Just continue with the lives, continue with the lives. And this morning we had a bit of a conversation, and she said, you know, I really didn't want to do a live, and then I went to do the live and I couldn't get a signal, so I couldn't run it, and so I decided not to. And I'm like, why are you forcing yourself to do lives when you don't like to do lives? And she's like, oh, I don't know. I said, well, if you want to write. If that's your thing and you think that's going to get a response, do it. No one's holding a gun to your head and saying you must do Facebook Lives because everybody else is. And what works for me and what works for the next person is not necessarily going to work for you. And also there's got to be that enjoyment factor. If you're not loving the stuff that you're doing in your business, you get to change that. You get to decide. So little things like, you know, I'm constantly always putting things through a filter. Hey Shireen, hey Britt. And if I'm finding myself, you know, every day in my business, I love it. I love everything about it. But if I find there's a little bit of anxiety around working with a particular client, it means that relationship's got to come to an end. If it feels like, you know, I'm running a program and I like it, but I don't feel like I want to do it again because something just didn't quite gel, then I won't do it again. You know, if I feel like, you know, I really feel like I want to email my people a lot more at the moment, then that's what I do. You know, I check in with my gut and that's it. You know, if it feels right in my gut and it feels like, yep, this is the thing that I want to do, that's what I do. But I don't do anything I don't want to do in my business. It's as simple as that. And at the end of the day, I get to make the rules. So if you feel like you're not enjoying certain things, have a look at the elements of the business that you're not enjoying and see if you can remove them. I remember speaking with someone a little while ago who I ran a VIP day with, and you know, they had all these rules around when they sent out their emails and when they did this and a whole bunch of rules. And I said, you know, who made the rules? And she's like, well, I did. And I'm like, well, can't you break them? She's like, oh my God, of course I can. And we just forget, you know, we forget sometimes that we build, you know, walls around ourselves. We build gates around things and we create rules around things that might have served us at some point, but they don't serve us anymore. So it's this constant checking in with, does this still work for me? Am I still excited by this? Is this still getting me the results that I want? Does this feel aligned? Do I feel amazing when I do this? And if the answer is yes, 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 and it's all great, then keep doing it. But sometimes you'll find that there are certain things that just start to grate a little bit, and the best thing to do is get rid of them. I don't let anything go too long. So I'm like, and I've mentioned this before, that story about the princess and the pea, where you know, and I'm probably explaining this totally different, but this is how I remembered it. I remembered this story when I was a little kid, and they found this woman and she was in rags, and they said, oh, and she said, I'm a princess. And they said, well, there's only one way to find out. When she goes to bed at night, if she's a princess, if we put a pea underneath her mattress and she feels it, then she's a princess. And so they put the pea under the mattress and she felt it, and they're like, well, that can't be right. And they kept stacking all of these mattresses up, so there was like 100 mattresses, and she went to bed and she still felt the pea. And well, I don't think I'm a princess. What I relate that to is, like, she knew that one thing wasn't right. You know, this tiny weeny little thing that not anybody else would pick up. She knew that wasn't right. And that's my intuition. I feel the peas all the time. When things aren't quite right, when things aren't 100% aligned, something just doesn't feel right. And so what I do is I eliminate it. I work out, what's the pea? What's the pea right here? And it could be the slightest thing. You know, it used to be, I used to hold myself off doing my Facebook Live training, you know, when I run my 5-day boot camps. I kept putting them off because I didn't want to commit to a specific time every single day that I was going to show up. And then I realized I don't actually have to show up at the same time every day. I just have to show up every day and let people know in the beginning. You know, I could be here at 8 o'clock one morning, it could be 10 o'clock another morning, it could be 7 o'clock another morning, it could be 11 o'clock another day. But the content is going to be there every single day, ready for you and waiting over the course of that day. And when I removed that, it was easy. It's like, now I can't wait to do my trainings because I don't feel hemmed in by it. And so just changing that one small shift meant that I was running programs. You know, if you saw me last year, I was running, you know, a program a week almost. And that's how I like to do it these days, because I'm not restricted by feeling like I had to work through these constraints. And it's not like I'm random, where one day I'm going to do it at 3 o'clock in the morning and then not deliver anything for 2 days. That's not how I roll, but it's more about, I know it's going to be within this time frame, but if I say I'm going to be there at 8 o'clock on the dot every single day, I'll resist that, because I don't like to feel hemmed in. I know myself well enough to know that, and that's another tool, you know, making sure you do know yourself well enough to know what's going to piss you off and what you're going to really love, and then start to look for the signs when, oh, I think I'm going to start to stop enjoying this soon. You will know that. I feel that myself, and when those feelings start to come through, I start to look at it. Okay, so what is it that I'm not enjoying about this? And then if I tweak it, then it stops it from becoming a bigger problem. So look at all of those things that are irritating you in your business. And then just remember, you know, I get to make the rules here. I get to do this my way. So if this isn't working for me, how else can I do it in a way that is going to work for me? And if you can continue to do that, and that's a day, you know, it's probably a daily process for me, not even something that I'm consciously thinking about. It's just a filter, you know. So I feel it if something doesn't quite feel right, I fix it straight away. And or I make a decision, you know, this is the last time I do this, or the last time in the next 12 months I'm going to give this a rest. Don't feel like doing it that way for a little while, and then, you know, I see what happens. And I don't get too caught up in, you know, that rule is forever. It's like, for now this doesn't feel right, so I'm going to park that and we'll see what happens in the future. I think we get too caught up in wanting to have, you know, and I'm a ducks in a row girl. I like to make sure everything's organized. Thanks, Kristen. But I also am much, much better at being open to my intuition and being able to say, I'm just going to trust that I know what the right thing is to do next when the time is right. And that's how I've been operating for close to a year now. And it's just working like a total dream, rather than feeling like I have to have, you know, I know with my biggest stuff, I want to launch this year, and I know I want to launch some version of this. And then I let the year unfold. I have a kind of guide, an idea for a timeline, but I trust my intuition. It's now. I've got to go with this now. This feels right. Oh, I can't pull the trigger on it right now. Something doesn't feel right, so I'm just going to leave that sit for a little bit. And at the end of the day, you know, usually everything that I put on my list for that year ends up being achieved and launched and all the rest of it. It's just the timelines might be a little bit skewed, and I give myself permission to do that, because I know that timing is everything. And if it doesn't feel right, and if it feels like I'm forcing it and I'm pushing it and it doesn't quite feel like it's ready to be launched, then I don't launch it. It's as simple as that. Because every time I've done that and I've felt like that, it's never had the impact that I've wanted it to have. So I know that I have to get myself into a state of absolute certainty. This is the time, this is the product. I can't wait to launch it. I'm really excited about it. And then that translates to sales because people pick up on our energy. It's all energy. Anyway, so don't forget, you make the rules, and anything that's irritating you in your business, now is the time to, get rid of it and do things your way. Important to do that. Have a good day. Bye.